Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special edition show offering us with TK. Of course, I'm your host, your boy TK. Insizwa yankose buya phansi eMpumalanga endaweni yaseDan Donald. Bafethu, like normal, namuhla we have another special guest all the way from Soweto, Bafethu. These guys, they are cracking the fashion industry. You know, ngikhuluma ngabobani, ngikhuluma I Run JHB, amachita wasekasi. Please welcome uKing. And then Uneo, let us give them an applaud. Yeah. Sure, Bafethu. I just want to start with the background, you know, of Amachita, and then including a brand in fashion design. So ningazi introduce njengama out wasekasi ukuthi abubani in Pizngani for audience emakhaya to understand you more.
Sure. Otherwise, never kapatia designer lipantul.
Sure.
This side to King, one half of Run JHB. So yeah, just head design of Run JHB.
Sure. Right, thank you for to King. Ngicela uphakamisa voice so that we capture your sound.
All right.
Properly. Sure, Bafethu. And please put it in mind that your camera is that one over there. Right. So most of the time when you speak to the audience, this is your camera right there, sure. And then the one that is capturing all of us, the entire interview, is this one. Bafethu, asingene phakathi endaweni. Ibrand iqale nini? Pusha kanjani? Izinto ezikanjalo yabo.
All right. So brand okay, the concept of the brand was conceived back in 2011.
Yeah.
Lapho we were still in varsity.
Okay.
But upon graduating from varsity, I think around about 2013, this is when we went out to the streets and made it like a full-time thing, where we started having like a studio, creating garments from scratch, going out to markets. So basically, uthi kube ibrand ephuma ebantwini iphume back in 2013. I think this year, it celebrates about 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, man, we started back in 2013, but the whole concept behind the brand was bekukuthi sihlanganise like different ethnic cultures that are born in South Africa,
okay,
and obviously other parts of Africa as well, you know. So we are people that are very proud of like our heritage and imvelaphi, you know.
I see.
So having said that, we wanted to incorporate that within the clothes that we create for people, so that whenever you go out to the streets, one can almost resonate with whatever you're wearing because of like the cultural aspect to the clothing, you know. And we also looked at the fact that there's other people that come into our country just to check out like the fashion state of the people living in the country. So when someone comes from abroad, they can clearly state or see that, you know, these people are culturally inclined just through impahla zethu, but also not forgetting like your today's standards, today's trends, you know. So we incorporate the two, and that's like the concept of our brand, just incorporating modern day fashion and modern day trends, and also just incorporating that with the different ethnic cultures that we have, because our country is very diverse. It's now 11 cultures, you know, different tribes, and obviously we also incorporate like African, other countries, tribes, because as you know, Joburg is like a place that houses different people that come from all these different areas. So all those people come from different cultural backgrounds. So sifuna ukurepresenta bonke labo bantu labo through impahla zethu.
Okay. So you said the brand, it started in 2011. In 2011,
yeah,
and then it was out there by year 2013. Yeah. Okay. So I've seen you guys, some of the most famous musicians wearing one of your brands, and then the merchandise was out there. Some of them, they were shooting some music videos, and including the late AKA. I think I saw one of the music video. He was wearing one of your brand. I saw Abo Moflava wearing your brand. Nasty C, all those artists, the famous one. So how did you guys take the brand into into the space?
Pretty much it's a matter of like identifying artists to work with, because artists are the most like influential people, you know. So we're using them as a driver to sort of like influence the youth, you know. So to answer your question is mostly an artist would come to us via their stylist, would come to us and they give us a brief.
Okay, do you have a specific shop like where they can just walk in and then pick a brand, or you just supply them via maybe social, online? Social.
Do you mean the artists or people in
I'm talking about, let's start with the artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the artist it's quite different, you know, because we have a catalog on like social media. That's where they get to see the clothes. Furthermore, we also like have showrooms. The stylist would have a showroom that has like plenty of clothes, and our clothes happen to be one of the items that are in the stylist showroom. But mostly with artists, what would happen is the stylist would come to us with a brief to say that, okay, this is the brief for the video, and then we'd also incorporate like our style into it, and then take it to the acts for them to wear for their music videos and stuff like that. But mostly we do it via the stylist, and other times we have like relationships with certain artists that we have handpicked to sort of like represent the brand on like a larger scale, you know. So that's how pretty much we work with artists.
Okay, so are you getting some? Is there anyone who's benefiting, like in terms of
The financial
financial aspect between, or the deal or the contract between you and the artist? Because the artist is actually in a way advertising the brand, you know.
Okay.
To the public.
I think there, let's also clarify that point. It also starts with the artist.
Okay.
They obviously have, like my partner here has said, that they get a brief. So before they, okay, let's say for instance, AKA once got a song, right?
Yeah.
Sits down with his team and they think of a concept of how they're gonna shoot the video, right? After the song has been released, then they sit down with the whole team. They think of how they're going to shoot the video. They come up with the concept, right? So having come up with the concept, then you obviously have to think of how we're going to look within the music video. And then this is when you think of brands that are out there to say, okay, Run JHB can do this. If I'm trying to go for a modern man who's also African inclined, the best brand that I know that can represent that is Run JHB. Then they can reach out to us. So it's not a matter of them advertising us. It's not us going to them hustling and saying, guys, I've just heard your song, it's dope, can I be on your music video? No, it's because we on that music video because we fit the brief of the music video. So in a sense, we both benefit, but it's more about the artist looking for a certain type of look and us fitting that certain type of look. And then obviously when it's playing on TV, I mean, of course we also benefit, but he also benefits in a sense that the concept that he wanted to put out has been put out in a proper manner.
To bring it to life,
you know. So it's a win-win situation in a sense, because without us, then they can't have that concept brought to life, and also on our end, without them, then it's almost difficult for us to get our products exposed, you know,
to a larger audience.
Yeah, you know, on like music platforms and that kind of stuff.
And obviously making clothes cost money, you know, so there are financial implications to it. So with working with acts, at least we are in a position that the people understand the space that we operate in, and they are more than willing, you know, to at least remunerate us for the production of the clothes. Yeah.
So how many artists so far that you guys work with them? Like you can list them. It's a number of them. Right?
Let me start. We're just gonna say etc. So I think
the catalog is quite broad.
Yeah. If we can start, maybe say from abroad.
Yeah, international acts.
Yeah, we've worked with Swizz Beatz. We've had
Swizz Beatz.
Swizz
Beatz.
Alicia Keys' husband.
Yeah.
That one.
And we've had Anthony Hamilton.
Okay.
The famous R&B singer. We've also had Tichina Arnold, and that's the lady that plays Chris's mom on Everybody Hates Chris.
Chris, yeah.
And then locally, we've had Shoma Josie, we have our staff, we've had Speedster, we've
DJ
had
Tira,
DJ Tira, aka
Shoma Josie, Nasty C.
It's too much. We don't do, it's too much.
Yeah, okay guys, are you having like some sort of a shop where the public, they can just go there and then buy the merchandise? Or right now you just they have to place an order maybe online and then you deliver and all those things?
It works two ways.
Yeah, both ways. We have online platforms whereby people can just go through and buy the product, and we also shelved at the space in Rosebank. There's like a shop that houses different local designers. Yeah, and we're also pushing with the guys from Homegrown Shandis in Newtown. But something is in the pipeline whereby we want to give our customers the whole I Run JHB experience. So later on during the year, maybe we might just open our own shop.
Okay. So what is that? What is that homegrown Shandis? Is it like a place where you guys exhibit your brand? Because I once went there back then, you know, and then I find I'm a brand. I found on Abu Pek's lifestyle. They were there. Run JHB. I think it was also part of that homegrown Shandis. So what is it actually?
It's a concept by young designers. That was conceived, I think, about four years ago. Yeah. So it's just a space where we all come together as young designers, and then we find a shop that can shop like different local quality made products, So that's the kind of vibe that we have there. But it's authentic local products that are sold there. And again, on the pipelines, which is very soon, we also working on being available in a space in Maboneng, but we'll announce the details, I think, in the next few weeks. Yeah, so if people can stick glued to our social media platforms, this is where they can see address.
Okay, I want to bring both of you guys now on the root. What can I say this? How can I say this? The root cause of why are we having this interview is to encourage and inspire someone back home who actually want to, start maybe a brand or doesn't have an idea on how to start a brand. So, King, can you briefly ask on how did you guys go about starting a brand? Like, you just go to print something, or you design, or you do, like, usher us based on that, on how you go about starting a brand.
Okay, so for us, how we basically started, we obviously came up with the concept of the logo, right? Which is the I, speaking basically about the person and individual, and the man that's running, and then Joburg. So that basically meant if I'm doing well, if I have a positive mentality, if I'm a go-getter, then in essence, living in Johannesburg, I want to be a person that's called I Run JHB in my own,
personal capacity
in whatever that you do. If you're doing well, if you're going out there and you're trying to get it, and you obviously achieve whatever that you're going after, you're living in Joburg, it's all about that kind of mentality. So we had that concept, printed it on t-shirts and on hoodies, that kind of vibe, and we took it to the people. But yes,
with
people,
the brand, just hoodies, and then with the brand.
We'd usually go out. This is when the concept was born. We'd usually go out, buy t-shirts, buy caps, buy hoodies, have them printed with our logo. Sharp. The people accepted that because they liked the concept of the brand, right? But
it was 2011.
Sharp University. Sharp. But for us, we felt like we're not unique enough,
like it's like everybody else.
The next guy can come through and buy the same kind of hoodie and print whatever they want to print on it. So this is when we sat down and we thought of a concept of saying, okay, how can we best represent ourselves? The concept of our brand. The concept of our brand is having different people coming from all these different areas, be it in South Africa and Africa as well. They all come to Joburg with one thing in mind, which is to try and make it, right? So all those people come from different cultural backgrounds. How do we then incorporate those people and Joburg into the same thing and our clothing? This is when we said, okay, now we can use the patterns that represent those people. Say for instance, shweshwe.
Yeah.
Ishweshwe siyasazi ukuthi abantu abasuthu resonate with that. It's something that represents the Sotho people. Then we can create a garment that's modern that represents umchita oploma ejozi, but
it's coming from
traditionally inclined.
Same way maybe
umgwalo amandebele kunis shirt
ama Ndebele patterns, but uyabona ukuthi akusisi Ndebele manje lesi sango 1950.
Yeah, it's a modern thing.
Uyangithola, I can still look cool while I'm wearing this, but it also says I'm culturally inclined. So basically that's how we came up with the concept. So having to answer your question, it's if a person wants to create a brand, they need to sit down, research and study the market. When you've researched and studied the market, you'd know that okay, there's different types of brands, like maybe all these different brands. Lapho uzokhona ukubona ispace sakho wena ukuthi okay,
find your niche.
Yeah, ukuthi mina kahle kahle njengoba kunezinto ezikanje, abanye benza ama traditional what abanye benza into inspire hip hop, abanye benza, so mina maybe ngavela ngebrand inspire maybe sport or tennis or baseball or ngiyangithola.
Okay, now I want to bring you to the conversation, right? So to start a brand or to start a label or fashion, to get into fashion, do you have to go to school, like to get formal education?
Yes and no, because the fashion space is pretty much a space that deals with creativity. So one has to be a creative person in order for them to tap into that space, you know. But formal education is important because of it guides you in such a sense that you get to learn about the business space and you get to be in a position to articulate your dreams to a larger audience. You get to have understanding of the space that you play in. Like my partner has said, that you need to tap into research. So when you went to school, you are in a more advantageous position to be in such a sense that you can be able to conduct your research, draft a business plan, come up with a marketing plan, and pretty much organizing a team, you know. So school is very important in that sense because it brings about confidence in one, and number two, it brings about it instills like pride in a person, you know, and you get to be part of the global community. So it's important to go to school. So I'd say one needs to go to school in order for them to have that background, you know, and also be a creative person, because school alone it doesn't help. You need to also be a creative person.
Talent.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, how many employees or people that you currently employed in Run JHB brand as a business?
So
We're the first employees.
Employees.
Yeah, we're the first employees.
Yeah, that's how it is most of the time.
Including us, I think there's about 5 of us that are working. 5 of us that are working on the brand.
2 directors, also employees and other employees. Okay. So are they currently are you currently having some sort of a workshop?
A studio,
A studio.
A studio is a place where we craft the garments from. So that's in Candy Square. That's where we work from.
Okay.
So the other guys are there on a daily basis. We there just pushing, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a functional running business.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, like I said, we don't just buy and print. So for you see that this comes in a roll where you have to cut, and you know you have this on its own. Of course, you know we have patterns, we have. So it has to be functional in a sense, because we don't just buy and print. So if it was a buy and print, then we wouldn't need too many hands to work on it, because you just buy this and then you give it to somebody else that's going to print it, and then that's it.
One of in one of those employees, right? I think do they have to undergo a training, or they have to provide a certain skill, or you just pick anyone? And then
No, they have to possess a certain skill. So pretty much the guys that he's speaking of is the guys that are at the factory who are responsible for actually bringing the garments to life, doing the stitching on the machines. So those are the guys. So obviously you need to be a seamstress in order to work with us. Pattern maker for the grading of the sizes and
our patterns, because we don't just create like a normal t-shirt, garment or whatever, sweater, so we have to have like different patterns. For this we have to have a different pattern, for that you have to have a different pattern, for this shirt I'm wearing
that's the design.
So you need to have people that are skilled in that. If not, people need to be trained to to execute whatever ideas that you have in the right manner.
And that one you cannot bypass. You need like formal training for that one.
Yeah. Ngile nganibona ku billboard. I think I was passing by I'm not sure whether it's Rosebank. I don't remember very well. But I was passing there and then I saw you guys on the billboard there, and then I like this guy.
We had plenty of those.
We had about 15 or 20 in the country.
We actually ran one of the biggest local campaigns, advertising campaigns, to ever be done by a streetwear brand, whereby we had about 20 billboards across the country.
Cape Town,
speaking airports, highways.
So to measure the brand at the level where the brand is right now, am I right if I'm saying the brand is at the level of Ipatu?
Well, not
or is it am I
by recognition,
No, that's subjective, but Batu, one would think Ibatu is more popular in the sense of the numbers that it's put out, but in terms of like credibility and having done things that make you credible within the space that we're in. We've done pretty much almost.
There's nothing we haven't done.
Yeah, almost, almost everything. We've, like you've said, we've mentioned billboards. We've had multiple of international
audience,
locals. We've showcased in the biggest platforms like Design Indaba. We've been selected as a top 40 creative. So there's a lot that we've done, but we wouldn't want to compare or measure ourselves next to different other brands. So it's just us doing our own thing at our own pace. Of course, there's ups and downs, but Batu was not there when we started, so we wouldn't want to measure ourselves with them now. So we don't want to measure ourselves with them.
They're running their own race, we're doing our own thing. And with us, our thing is unique, right? And with it being unique, we are targeting like a niche market. We're not like a brand that would filter down to the streets, like be seen by many people, worn by many people like Batu, So with us, it's a matter of we're running an exclusive brand, whereby when you wear it, you need to feel exclusive, It's not a Me Too product, 100%, So if we were to rate ourselves, we rate ourselves with your Laduma, your Makosa, the Makosa guy, That's pretty much where we're playing at.
But on the
street level though, because he's more high end, and then we're doing it like on a premium street level.
So is there a huge difference between the Makosa brand and Run JHB?
The press
because the reason why I'm bringing these guys is because when I start seeing I Run JHB, and I think the way I'm a brand, they come out on the market space. So I think in most cases the matter of which one the public saw first. Yes. And then so if, for instance, I'm making an example, if I'm the one who see a Makosa brand, and then there's some things that are similar with the I Run JHB brand, obviously I'm gonna say this guy's do you get what I'm saying? So like, is there any difference or similarity between the Makosa brand and Run JHB?
I think the similarities.
The similarities that we both culturally inclined. But as far as designs and anything else, and Maxhosa, like the name says,
Maxhosa.
Maxhosa. And Run JHB represents all these different cultures, including Xhosa. And for us, it's never been any comparison. As a matter of fact, we look up to what he's accomplished, what they've done as Maxhosa, and we were in the same space. We've been retailing. We constantly go to his factory, have a look at how they were. I mean, the work. You know, we get inspiration. We now and again go to him and ask for advice. You know, he also had a hand in Swizz Beatz
buying our stuff.
You know.
Okay.
Because
there's plenty of.
Olatuma is good friends with Coffee, and then Black Coffee is friends with Swizz. So when Swizz came into the country, Black Coffee took him for a tour, right? So they were buying stuff from Maxhosa because we were in the same space, right? So as soon as they bought from Maxhosa, they pulled through to our shop, you know.
It was like some sort of
and advised by employees from
Maxhosa to say that, okay, check out the guys from Run JHB.
Something that's more or less
on the streets level,
you know, that's culturally inclined, but you know, it's also cool on the streets level. They took them to us and say, these are the guys that are doing it, you know. And funny enough, you know, Maxhosa, more like us, they more appealing to
the international audience.
Yeah, the international audience, people from abroad. So most often than not, when those people visited his shop, the next shop that they go to is us. So they have their pieces, then they have our pieces. So Maxhosa is a brand that we look up to, and we want to reach the heights that they're at now. And you know, there are similarities, but there's also plenty of difference between us and them.
Because as opposed to him, he strictly focuses on the Xhosa culture, right? So with us, we dive into all of those cultures, you know, African cultures, South African cultures, you know, street subcultures like Skotani, Spantsula, you know, we inspired by that as well, you know. So we draw inspirations from like different art forms, like streetwear.
Okay, guys, we're about to wrap the show, so I just want you guys to tell us what can we expect from the I Run JHB as a brand. You know, what are the projects that you are busy with? Because I don't want to lie, I'm gonna buy one of your merchandise. I promise you. I have to buy one of the merchandise, and the next podcast that I'm gonna be wearing your stuff just to represent the brand. So what can we expect from I Run JHB as a brand, you know, out there?
Clothes are seasonal, right? So meaning that as seasons change, we need to come up with new collections. So with us, we're busy in the studio working on our winter stuff, and as soon as we tap into winter, we're working on our summer stuff, you know. But as far as projects, we want to go back to Fashion Week. Obviously, continue working with like your media people in terms of like taking the brand out there. But the most important thing is us being in the studio, working on new clothes, you know, creating content for the brand, and hopefully take it to Fashion Week. And obviously there's talks with people from abroad. We want to tap into the international space as well, because our product is loved and adored by people from abroad, you know. So we would say like 80% of our clientele is like international guys. So we're trying to find ways on how we can get the brand that side. So that's in the pipeline. So I don't know if he wants to add anything, but
just basically, you know, we like right now we're working on a one would think it's not so I Run JHB like the collection that we want to release right now. But if you look carefully, or if you learn or trying to find out what inspired us to release that kind of collection, you'd see that it's also part of our work, but in a different kind of way. So we want to release something that a lot of people can resonate to. A lot of local people at that. A lot of local people.
That one is strictly for the local.
Mostly for the local guys. I think people need to look out for that. Something that they can, you know, just wear on a random day. Not something that almost looks like what we're wearing, which is like your high-end streets wear, you know. So
I see that they're quite pricey.
So we're gonna drop something that's on the streets level that a lot of local people can resonate with. So yeah, just people can be on the lookout for that, you know, on our social media pages. When we just hope that they're gonna like. We don't hope that they're gonna. We know that they're gonna like it because it's strictly for the locals, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, if for instance, before we wrap up, something just came to my mind that I need to raise this one. If there's a particular musician that is still upcoming, you know, I'm the guy who like to plug people. You know, if there's a particular musician that is upcoming and they have a concept of shooting a music video, so how can they reach you so that they can plug in the brand? As you said right now that you are working on something that is more commercial. So how they can reach you so that they can plug in the brand and then out there.
Okay, basically.
With that, Neo earlier touched on it. When we work with an artist, whether you're known or you're not known, up and coming or you're established, whatever, you know, there's two ways in which you can work with us. It's either you buy the products or you can hire out the garments, right?
Okay.
So it's one of those two options. Like yesterday I did get a guy, yesterday on my WhatsApp, well, was it on our DMs inbox, asking, okay guys, can I wear some of your garments on my upcoming music video? I have this dope concept. Sharp, we appreciate that, right? But at the end of the day, it also needs to make sense for us as well, because if we're always willing to help out anyone and everyone, but angeke ngikhona ukuthi manje wena mawuzwakala uthi music video ngogaye kuzwakala omunye ngimgaye, at the end of the day umuntu odlekayo bani yimi, uyangithola. So it's one of the two ways that in which it works. It's either uyazwakala, you find out our charging card as far as hiring out the garments or just buying them out, you know. It's better when you buy the product because you get to keep it, and when you go out to your performances and whatever, mara magube manje, you hide it out in a space of 2 to 3 days. It needs to be back, but obviously you have to have paid whatever fee that's attached to that product, you know. So whoever's up and coming, we're obviously willing to work, but on those two bases. It's either you hire the products out or you just buy the products.
Because you cannot bypass the financial implications that come with making clothes. So that we need to understand, you know.
Okay. We're about to wrap the show. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting with these interesting designers. You know, these are famous, one of the famous designers that actually came to South Africa. So any last words, guys, that you want to say to the audience before we wrap up?
The biggest last words is, you know, just please stay glued to our social media. On Facebook, it's I Run JHB.
I Run JHB.
Sure.
Yeah.
With spaces in between. On Instagram, it's I Run Josie.
Okay.
At I Run Josie.
Okay, it's different. On Facebook, it's I Run JHB.
Sure. On Instagram, I Run Josie.
Okay.
On Twitter, it's at I Run JHB. No spaces. Much like Instagram, there's no spaces in between, just one word. At I Run Josie on Instagram. On Twitter, it's at I Run JHB. On TikTok, we've just newly opened a page on TikTok. So we just
with the times.
So on TikTok, it's at I Run JHB_1.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for sitting with us, going us with TK. Of course, we're gonna bring Amagents again on the show. You know, when they started their new merchandise, when the merchandise is already on the market. So, guys, please make sure that you subscribe on our show. It's Ring Us with TK, a show where we're bringing to you all your superstars, all your upcoming artists, all your actors, everyone who's making an impact, a positive impact in the community. Thank you for sitting with us. Ciao.